Bob Glidden in Pro Stock, and Raymond Beadle in the funny car. And all three defending champions are here. It should be an exciting day of motor competition. The top fueler, the IndyCar, so to speak, of the sport. Special in every sense of the word. $50,000 at least, long, with bicycle-like front wheels and driveway rollers at the back. Their expensive aluminum V8 engines gulp an expensive mixture of alcohol and nitroglycerin, and when they get to parachute, you get stopped. We're at the semifinal point in top fuels. Jeb Allen will go against Marvin Graham in the first one. Dick LaHaye against Connie Kalita in the second semifinal. Now here we have Jeb Allen in the near lane. He's from Santa Rosa, California, going against Graham from Oklahoma City. Allen, a red-bearded young Californian, has made the finals here at Raceway Park the last 4 years. They say he owns the track, and his pit crew says they're just trying to figure out a way to spend the money. But first, he's going to have to dispose of Graham, a seasoned competitor, as the two of them come to the line in this important contest. And now the cars move into the starting line area. To break the lights that the association that sanctions the event has placed to keep the cars exactly even for a fair start. We'll be talking more about the starting system a bit later in the program. And they're off. Graham smokes his tires. Allen streaks down the strip. They're side by side. But Allen moves ahead to win and go to the finals for the 5th straight year here at Raceway Park. Allen's time, 5.923 seconds. His speed, 233.76 miles an hour. And his crew's a happy group. Now let's take a look at the starting process. In the middle of the strip, the Christmas tree, slang for the starting lights. The bottom two are the only ones used in the pro categories. But here are the key lights, 2 sets of these, 1 in each lane. The left-hand light is the pre-staging light. The center light is the staging light where the cars wait for the green light. When the green light comes on, they can go, and when the wheel breaks the third light, that's when the clock starts to measure the elapsed time. The run ends at the finish line at the middle of the zebra-striped area here where the clock stops to calculate elapsed time. Top speed is calculated through this zebra-striped area where the car enters it, another clock starts, and where it leaves it, it stops. That's top speed and elapsed time, the two basic figures used in drag racing. Time for the second top fuel semifinal. Pitting Connie Kalita against Dick LaHaye, two drivers from Michigan. Kalita from Ypsilanti, LaHaye from Lansing. Kalita, a former crew chief for Shirley Muldowney, who went out on his own and developed an arch rivalry with her, beat her earlier in the meet and eliminated her from the competition. We saw Shirley beat Connie in the Winter Nationals on ABC earlier this year. LaHaye, 22 years in the sport, has never made it to the final. Kalita is in what has been the bad lane. An engine spilled oil on it earlier in the day, and no one in top fuel has won on that side except LaHaye, who took his quarterfinal round over there. They come to the line and wait now for the signal to go. And they're off, man. Kalita smokes his tires, and it looks as though his engine's giving trouble. But LaHaye shoots across the line, winning in 6.062 seconds, 231.95 miles an hour, to make his first final round in his 22-year history as a drag racer. A happy man as he heads down the line. And he should have his hands full with Jeb, particularly popular cars, because he drives them for a living. A 15-year veteran of the sport, Harris has paid $50,000 to manage his team, which is based in Trenton, New Jersey. He's responsible for every aspect of the operation, including driving the car. Married and the father of 2, his wife is frightened by drag racing and has seen him only race twice. A 15-year-old daughter is too busy aspiring to be a figure skater to come, and his young son can only come now and then. We asked him then, why does he drag race?
It's an outlet for my mechanical inquisitiveness, I guess. It's a very competitive sport, and it's a sport that a lot of people can participate in on a smaller level and grow to a level that I'm at now on a professional level to do it for a living. For the first 15 years that I did this, it was a financial burden. It isn't now because I'm an employee, and I get paid every week, so all I have to think about is doing as well as I can.
I was told that it cost $5,000 to get this car to a national weekend. The first $2,000 is for getting there, crew salaries, and motels. The other $3,000 goes to keeping this baby in competition. As an example of some of the prices that are paid today, a pair of these slicks cost $425, good for about 6 runs. 2.5 miles is all, but that'll get you through a national weekend if you make the finals. Then $1,000 is budgeted for engine spares. I asked car owner Tom Ryan, what if nothing goes wrong with the engine? He looked surprised and said, something always goes wrong, sometimes as much as $3,000 worth. So with these kind of expenses and a top winner's purse of $5,000, how can you justify racing in the red?
What you want to know is why do we do this at such a money-losing proposition? It really isn't. We have a sponsor that we're trying to further the name of that sponsor, trying to acquaint the drag racing fans with that product. We earn money with the car, and with our sponsorship money and the money that the car owner puts in the car, we can make ends meet. But it is not profitable business on what the car can earn on its own in prize money. There are contingency prizes, monies awarded by smaller companies that are involved in the sport, which makes a win somewhere around $8,000 to $10,000 if you have the right affiliations.
And so it's on to the truck and off to the races. And drag racing, like every other form of motorsport, has its qualifications. The field of funny cars here numbered 30, and only the 16 fastest go into the eliminations. But in Harris's fifth run, the car broke a water line, and he had to take it back to the garage for repairs.
Just to qualify at a national event now is an accomplishment, because the qualifying times are very close, and this is a very fragile business where a broken valve or a blower belt or just any small mechanical failure can ruin your whole day.
And last night, Roy Harris brought his car back for the last attempt to qualify. He was in line. The hood went up, however. A sick fuel pump, and Roy Harris's luck was as black as the impending night. And the car was towed away for the last time. There are many long walks in sports, the relief pitcher to the showers, the quarterback to the sideline. And so, Roy Harris's long walk, through as a driver for the weekend, is to the spectator area.
To say that we're a loser isn't fair to all the people that make the effort they do to compete in this sport. Everybody can't be a winner, and I don't feel like a loser.
And his love for the sport puts him in the stands on Sunday. The first of two funny car semifinals, pitting Blue Max Raymond Beadle in the near lane against four-time world champion Don Perdum. Al Segrini and Billy Meyer make up the second semifinal. Beadle is just back from England, where he swept the card every time out, and Perdum is going for a 30th national victory. And they're off. Perdum streaks ahead to leave Beadle in the rough, and he may get that 30th national victory. Perdum's time, 6.056 seconds, over 238 miles an hour. Perdum said earlier that he came to the Summernationals with a game plan. Had to do with his engines. He qualified on one engine, and he's saving his best engine for the finals. We'll be back for more in 1 minute. And the second semifinal with Billy Meyer in the near lane. He's from Waco, Texas, and Al Segrini from Easton, Massachusetts in the far lane. Meyer's been dragging since he was a teenager and has aspirations to someday set the world land speed record. Here he is in his bright yellow car. Look at that fiberglass body vibrate under the horsepower of that engine. These funny cars have the engines up front. The driver's legs are alongside the bell housing, and if a flywheel explodes, it could be very dangerous. The funny car of today is considered perhaps the most dangerous of all drag racers. And starter Buster Couch tells them to shake a leg and bring their cars to the line, keep the program moving. And now Segrini moves in for the ever-thrilling start. There they go. Segrini swivel. And Meyer streaks. An easy win for the youngster from Texas. 6.168 seconds is a lap time. His speed, 233-plus miles an hour, in winning the semifinal and earning a starting spot alongside the most feared man in funny car racing, Don Perdum. Like Perdum, Meyer's operation is heavily financed, but in Perdum's case, he just oversees the work. Meyer, mechanically oriented, likes to do his own work, and he'll be working on his car right up to the final time that may well put him at a disadvantage when the lights go green. How do you look at Meyer in the final?
Well, you know, he's a very talented guy. He's been running all these national events. He's been right there, and, you know, you just never know. He stands as good a chance to win the race as I do.
Well, you've won 29 of them, so you know what it's like to win. Tied with Bob Glidden, incidentally, for overall wins. A win today might put you ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, it would kind of be nice to win that 30th national event, that's for sure, but then I'd probably want to win 40 or 50 more.
Why not?
Sure.
And the snake takes it easy, waiting for the final while his staff does the get-ready work. It's Pro Stock time now, with the semifinal rounds coming up. And it's been said that Pro Stock is one of the toughest series in which to field a car because of the restrictive rules. In funny car and top fuel, special parts can be used, but for these cars, they must come from Detroit. Lee Shepard in the far lane, and Joe Satmary on the near lane in the first semifinal. Bob Glidden and Frankie Iaconio in the second semifinal. And the two drivers, both wheeling 1980 Camaros, drag racing versions thereof, inch to the line, and they're off. On in the near lane. Satmary fouls, red lights. He left the fight too early. I don't believe he knows it, and certainly Shepard doesn't know it. But Shepard streaks across the line, 8.511 seconds, 160.42 miles an hour. And so Lee Shepard goes to the final as Joe Satmary is disqualified. A season of drag racing to those who take part in national events is worth about $3.5 million for the 11 races from California to Canada and Florida. However, of that $3.5 million, the tracks themselves put up less than a third. Here in New Jersey, the total prize money of $448,000, the track puts up $98,000, and American business almost $350,000. The story is in the decals on the side of the car. Each one worth between $400 and $600. On this car, there's 30 such signs. And if he does well, the $2,500 first prize money can be quadrupled to over $10,000. It's a case of American business helping a sport that gets more expensive every year. And the best crowd in Summer Nationals history seems to be enjoying the proceedings. We'll be back for the second Pro Stock semifinal after this. Lane, Bob Glidden, the four-time world champion, defending race champion here in the far lane as they come to the line, waiting for the starting signal. Inching up, Iaconio from New Jersey, they're off. It's close. Very close. Side by side. But it's Glidden going to the finals again. He uses his parachute to get slowed down. Iaconio can almost toast home to Totowa. Glidden, 8.507. 158.7 miles an hour, and his wife, Etta, still has a worried look on her face. She's also his crew chief. And there's the matchup. Shepard against Glidden in the final. Glidden's 8.507 time is faster than Shepard's 8.511, and that means he'll have lane choice. Well, that concludes the preliminaries to professional categories. We'll be back later in the show for the finals in the pro categories and a look at the grassroots segment of drag racing, the sportsman categories, and how they fared here at Englishtown. And now, let's go back to Bartlesville, Oklahoma, and Bill Fleming.